You are here with By the Cover. Today we're going to be reviewing Rose of Jericho by Alex Grecian. This book was 326 pages and took me 2 days to read. I would rate this book a 2 out of 10. This review will contain spoilers, so if you do not want to hear those, click off now. The synopsis. The story follows Rabbit, Sadie Grace, and their friend Rose as they investigate a town where the dead refuse to die. As far as my likes with the book, the beginning of the book was interesting, the setup with Moses killing Death and then no one being able to die afterwards. It was at the very least a fun premise. I liked the atmosphere for the most part of this book as well, but that was about all I liked in this book. As far as my dislikes, this carried over from Red Rabbit, which is the first book in the series, but the author really has no concept of changing tone to match a situation. Everything reads as a casual conversation. Whether it is just a casual conversation or somebody is being murdered, it all reads the same, which makes pretty much any action that is in the book, which isn't much, very muted and not that exciting. The way that death is handled in this book as well, while it is different from the first book in this series, the end result is still the same. When the dead can't die, there are really no stakes for the characters because no matter what happens, they'll still carry on. There's no finality, there's no urgency, and therefore there are no stakes. There's no clear good antagonist in this book. We have Death, who is taken out in less than 10 pages. He's not really a challenge. We then have Moses. Well, Moses is too good to be an antagonist, really. Benjamin, he's not a great antagonist. He's a good kid to start. He turns a little bit evil, but he's not a big force that the primary characters go up against. Prosper really isn't either, even though he's a bad guy. I didn't feel like the two entities that are playing the game were great antagonists either. So with no clear challenge for the characters to go up against, there's no real challenge in this book, and therefore it's fairly boring. The two primary plot lines were also really boring. You had Moses trekking across the country picking up stragglers, while the stragglers that he picked up were kind of interesting and funny. All you have is Moses walking across the country to eventually have a conversation with his friends. And the main plot line involves the three witches moving into a haunted house and Scooby-Doo adventures ensue. It feels very cozy. It's basically just a string of events happening, one event happening, then another event happening. Some of it's tied together, but it just feels like we're meandering through an episode of something that has no clear end. I found both plot lines very boring. The primary plot was given up really early in the book, which made it boring as well. This book has an identity crisis. It's blending a lot of genres together and it doesn't really know what it wants to be, and so it doesn't do a great job at any of the genres that it has in it. Is it a good horror book? It wasn't scary at all. The author really doesn't do subtle build-up well. It does have horror elements in it, such as ghosts, serial killers, and murderers, but the atmosphere isn't done well enough to where it is a scary book. Is it a good mystery? It gives elements up way too early in the book to be a good mystery, and there's no big reveal at the end, really. Is it a good western? Most good westerns have a great antagonist to go up against. Whether that be nature, whether it be bad guys, whatever it happens to be, there's usually a challenge. There really wasn't a challenge in this book. So I don't think it did any of those genres really well. And because it mixes everything together and none of it is really good, it just seems very bland in the end. The pacing of this book was absolutely horrible. I was bored after the first 60 pages, and I was just waiting for the book to end from that point forward. Most all of the characters are very middle of the road. I don't hate any of them, but I don't love any of them either. Whether they're in the story or not in the story, I could really care less. This book also had one of the most lackluster endings that I have ever read. This book was the slow burn the entire book. There was no point that crescendoed. The events just played out until it was over. So I've now read Red Rabbit, which was the first book in the series. I enjoyed that far more than this book, but it still got a 5 when I reviewed it, so it's not a great book. But this book gets a 2. I enjoyed it far less. If I was looking for kind of a cozy, gothic story that was a bit funny, that is who I think this book would appeal to. But for me personally, I didn't find anything within it that was done really well. Ultimately, I just found it boring. That's about it. We'll catch you later.